Hello everybody, hope that you are very well and welcome to this evening's Contenders live stream number 60, and it's going to be a really good one today. We have a really special ending, so yeah, about 3/4 of the way through we got a really special and big surprise for you, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Just so you're aware, it's taking 1 week break from the volume series. So next week the volume series is going to continue as planned, and this is a live stream today, a little bit of off the beaten track or off of the plan, so to speak. But nevertheless, it's going to be a really good one. So I hope that you thoroughly enjoy this one. But yeah, it is a little unplanned, so to speak. So you're going to find out what I mean later in the stream. So yeah, a special one that we have today, number 60. We'll remember this one for years in advance, or years to come. And yeah, let's begin then. So, Contender stream number 60. Why is it so special? You will find out. Let's begin. So, as always, got to start with the trade disclaimer. So the trade disclaimer, you just want to read through, pause the screen, understand this is no financial advice. This video is only about education and entertainment purposes, video only. So once you've understood that, you can unpause and continue. So, the Contenders live stream tonight, number 60, what we're going to be starting with is Phantom Chart of the Week, so FTM Chart of the Week to start with. Then I want to go on to psychology in trading, okay, so how we can overcome the barriers that many of the traders inside the group are facing at the moment, okay, and then ending with our questions, as always. Okay, and before we get to the questions, that's when the surprise is going to be. So, Phantom Chart of the Week. Let's start with Phantom. Okay, so this is what I was looking at, and this was now a few days ago. We had firstly a really nice defined range. We knew where our weekly support was. We knew where our weekly resistance was. Obviously, first of all, we broke through that weekly. We bounced off of the weekly. We came back down to that weekly to the absolute sat. And traded it back up to the weekly. That was like a 12% gain, by the way. That was a 12% gain. And my thought process was, well, let's just trade this again. We've already done one trade, 12%. Let's get it down again and just repeat. And that was the range that I was looking at, because firstly, that was a really big weekly resistance. Then we had a really big weekly support. So what I'm thinking is let's remain range bound in here. This is a big range as well, at about 13.5% between those two weeklies. That was kind of what I was looking at. So as you can see here, a long entry off at a range low, take profit at the range high, and the trade setup invalidation is coming back below the range. So what I'm going to do now is I will load up the chart here. So here we go with Phantom. So Phantom. As you can see, that this actually ended up. So just so you're aware, I've cancelled my orders on this one. I'm not in this trade, and so I'm not in Phantom, just so you're aware of this. Because basically what happened with Phantom is when I was waiting for another rotation to the low, okay, so we'd obviously seen that first rotation back up to the high. While I was waiting for this to come to the low, as you can see, it got, it didn't come down to my entry, and in the end, it just kind of took off really quickly. Okay, so it got a really quick move to the upside. And then you can see how it came back down, tested. Again, the weekly, this is really precision. It's really precise, isn't it, when you first got that move through the weekly, back test of the weekly, and that, by the way, was a crazy big move, 34%. It got through then the weekly, it then back tested that weekly again to the absolute sat for another 10% move. But then it obviously came back into the channel, and what I was waiting for was another move back down off of this weekly. Or you can see I was trying to front run it by one sat, but in the end it got front run by 3 sats, and then it done another full rotation up to the high, and you can see that it got slightly through the weekly, but nevertheless back down below. And yeah, I've now removed my orders on Phantom. I'm not actually trading it anymore, so I think that my idea was correct, like my setup was correct. I just got unfortunate, I suppose, that it got front run. But this is the thing, when I trade altcoins, as you'll know, I would always say that when I'm trading altcoins, I actually don't mind, if I enter a position where I think that there's a nice confluence, and then the trade doesn't reach my entry and takes off without me, you don't lose any money by that happening. So for me, it's just a trade that was never to be, because I never got in it. You don't lose any money by doing these sort of things, so that's absolutely fine. I suppose I should have really made sure you could all hear me. Yeah, everything is good, otherwise someone would have said so. Yeah, that was then Phantom. That was Phantom Chart of the Week, a really quick one actually, just because it simply it took off without me, and now I'm not feeling so good about trading it again off that weekly. I think the way that I would approach this now is by having an alert set. Okay, so really simply place an alert on the weekly level, or maybe slightly front, maybe put your an alert, for example, 157 sats, and I'd wait for a reaction off of this. I don't feel the need to really preset anything on this one anymore and try and get into it. So yeah, that's my opinion on Fantom. Obviously, on the bigger scale, okay, when you zoom out and look at it, it has obviously taken off really nice, and that was kind of its first period of consolidation here. It really fell off, fell off a cliff. You started going through this, period of sideways, forming like this rounded sort of bottom. So it did that rounded bottom, then it really took off to the weekly, down to the weekly, up to the weekly, down to the weekly, and so these 3 weekly levels, which I'll show you. Okay, so these 3 weekly levels, you obviously first the weekly, which really started that rounded bottom, and then your second weekly above it, and then the third weekly above it. You can see that's 3, and this is what we love. This is why I love it, because these levels are really easy and simple to identify, aren't they? They're so very simple, but they're so amazingly effective. Okay, so when you first breached that weekly, that was a 37% rise to the upside, which was defended to the exact sat, and you came back. And then obviously when you get through again, 86% move. But when you come down onto the 4-hour chart and you just see the respect that had, like, to the dollar, then you come back down in this form of like channel slash, whether, basically channel, falling wedge, however you want to call it, bull flag. You get that move, retrace to the weekly, bullish divergences, move back up, okay, through to the higher weekly, down to that again, to the exact sat, that lower weekly, through the level. I was trying to trade it back down off of it again, but got slightly front run, and you had another 10% rise to the upside. So I mean, yeah, Fantom really technically well traded, but yeah, that's where I got that idea and setup from. But it's just one of those unfortunate things, slightly front run by a few sats, and the trade takes off without you. So yeah, that was a really quick intro to Fantom chart of the week there. So okay, I will show you this, by the way. I got a new I had some person in the group recommend me to take a licorice tea, because apparently it will help with my throat. So I've got some licorice tea here, and I'm really not a tea fan, but oh yeah, hot drink. Apparently very good for your throat. Although I really must admit I don't like that taste. Anyway, continuing on. So, yeah, psychology and trading. This is what I want to go through in this session. This is probably going to be a quick 10-minute session on the psychology, and then I want to introduce the surprise to you. So, psychology and trading. Like, what's the reason I'm going through this tonight, and what can we take from this? So, firstly, how to manage emotions. So this is the reason why I wanted to focus on this one tonight, because recently we've been seeing a few of the same comments come from members of the group, okay, and this is obviously beneficial to see these comments and then understand how we can move forwards to eliminate the problems that people in the group are facing. So firstly, you have the first thing that people are wondering, that it's they're getting to a stage where they understand a technical analysis, but then they have no trust in their setups. So it's along the lines of, you're seeing the trade in front of you, you're seeing the setup right in front of your face, but then you don't have any trust in the technical analysis to really take the trade, or you're overcome by so many different so many different points of view that it's just kind of so confusing to you. You don't really know which one to take, which one not to take, and there's a lot of conflicting emotions riding in your brain. And this is like an emotion / psychological reason why you're not taking the trades, okay, although your technical analysis is there. The next point that you can see is they have lost confidence after a string of losses, and this could be a string of losses, string of wins, but nevertheless, it's this psychological aspect of the trading that's getting in front of you. It's not that the technicals are at fault, but it's the emotions that are getting ahead of people inside of the group. I feel, with a lack of trust, a overview, too many different opinions, and they're finding it difficult to concentrate, and then as well as just having, especially some of the new people, like just a lack of confidence in their trades. Maybe you've come from a position taking many losses, and then even though we're giving you the technical analysis, you still have that lack of confidence. And then finally, again, this is falling under confidence, but just too scared to enter those trades. So this is an example that I could just give here of, let's say that you're looking at this chart, and you've identified a weekly support, and you've identified some really good confluence, that you've identified this trade yourself, and you are thinking to yourself, you want to take this weekly, you want to trade the weekly setup here, okay, and then what happens is price will then price comes down very quickly to the end level that you're waiting for. And this is maybe making you then start to doubt your analysis. As when price was up here, you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to buy the weekly retest. I'm going to buy the weekly retest and I'm going to target the monthly. That's what I'm going to be trading here. And then price starts to fall down really quickly. And then as it's starting to fall down really quickly, you're going to be starting to think to yourself, okay, maybe it's going to keep going a bit lower. Okay, so I'm not going to actually buy here because, I can get another 10% off. Or you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, you know what, this has fell so quickly to my level. I now no longer, no longer want to step in front of this, falling knife or whatever. You don't want to catch the falling knife. You don't want to get involved on this trade setup anymore. And you've started to change your analysis. Okay, a mixture of reasons why you might not take this, but basically it all falls under the doubt. So you start to doubt your technical analysis as it reaches this level. And this might be likely because of past experiences, past trades that are almost haunting you to move forwards with your trusting your own technical analysis. Okay, and you start to overthink, and you have analysis paralysis, where you've got now so much technical analysis tools in your brain that you end up missing the trade, or you just end up not taking it because you find yourself in just a total state of confusion. And it might be because you do know too much technical analysis, but then you are unable to put that technical analysis, conquer the emotions, and actually make a plan and stick to them. So you end up seeing the entry come in front of you. Do not take it because you are doubting yourself too much. You will go to sleep, you wake up the next day and you see something like that where prices come to your entry level and then just totally taken off without you. And obviously, how are you going to be feeling about that? It's just going to leave you devastated because the trade played out exactly as you thought it was going to trade, and you ended up not taking it for many different, emotional reasons, and you just feel absolutely, devastated and unhappy with yourself. And then this is then going to play on your emotions for each of your future trades. Then what's likely going to happen after this, if you've just missed a very big move of a trade setup that you're waiting for? Well, what do you think is the likely reaction of this? Your likely reaction is going to be, okay, I want to get involved with it now. So it's already had a really big move that you've missed on. And then what do you end up doing? You end up FOMOing in, and then you get the reversal. So instead of just taking in the end, you'd have taken nothing. You end up taking a loss because you start to FOMO in at the high of the moves, or you just end up almost revenge trading, trading when you really shouldn't be trading. So these are a variety of emotions that can occur from originally just not trading to your plans and letting your emotions really get the better of you. Yeah, I'm not sure on that team. Yeah. So this is an interesting photo, and you're going to understand this a little bit more as we get to the surprise. But this is a picture of an operating theatre. Okay, so you can see inside of this operating theatre. Obviously, here you can see somebody doing a heart operation. What are these doctors going to be feeling? And we can relate this to trading. They're going to be under pressure. Why are they under pressure? They're under pressure to do their job. Obviously, they're to save a life. We are to make some money. So slightly different in this regards, but the pressure that they're going to be facing is very much real and very much large. The same as if you are, if trading is your full-time profession, then you are under this pressure, obviously, to make money from trading, to support yourself and to support your family. So there's always that underlying pressure, and also just the pressure that you put on yourself when you are taking the trade. As you all know, it's arguably, it's arguable. I can't find the right word. It's debatable whether actually trading is much more to do with emotions and psychology than it is to do with the technical analysis. At the end of the day, price is going to go up, price is going to go down, or price is going to go sideways. There's three variables, and you could very much have a 50-50 guess and win 50% of your trades. But because you're doing technical analysis, because you understand how the market's starting to move, you are under a certain amount, you put pressure on yourself when you start to actually trade and understand, or you see, for example, other people succeeding and yourself not succeeding. That again is putting pressure on yourself because you start to question, my peers around me are succeeding, I'm not succeeding. What's wrong with me? Why am I not doing as well as everybody else? And again, this is just going to mount up the pressure. It's going to be in no way beneficial, and you're going to end up just repeating the cycle of missing trades, or just losing and losing and losing trades. So you are under a lot of pressure as a trader. Next, you obviously got the tension. That's the tension of just generally being in the market, the tension of having money on the line, the tension of having restless and sleepless nights when it comes to trading. I'm sure many people have experienced that. Okay, so why is it that you check the price of Bitcoin the first thing you do as you wake up, and it's the last thing that you do before you go to sleep? Why is there this constant pressure and tension when it comes to Bitcoin? Why are you feeling these emotions? Okay, and really, what is how do you overcome this? You overcome it with your plans, and you overcome it with obviously being focused on the job in hand. As I will say to everybody, trading is a business, so you have to approach trading as you would running a business. Okay, you don't take substandard trades. You enter with plan. You enter with risk management on point. All these aspects that you would use when running a business, you have to view that as you do as your trading day. You approach every day. You want to come, you want to make money, you want to leave. It's not staying for too long, and it's not staying too short. You put in the required amount of effort to take that out. Okay, so we've got a few more slides here. Okay, so firstly, how can I fix this problem? So what we're going to start by saying is understand the root cause. So this is the problem that I have seen. Okay, so the problem that I've seen is that I can teach people the best technical analysis in the world. I myself can prove the results, and then the members that have been here the longest can prove the results. You can see members such as Mike, for example, such as Igor, that have really understood, learned, mastered their emotions, mastered the charts, and are coming out very successful traders. So I can say with no shadow of a doubt that I can give you the best technical analysis, okay, and the best theories and the best methods to trade these charts. Okay, but I cannot manage your emotions. Although I can give you, help from my personal experience. I'm by no means a master in psychology, so I cannot really help so much in that regards. But I can understand that the problem is for many traders in the group their emotional aspects. Okay, that they are feeling as if they can't trust their technical analysis. They are feeling as if they are in a place where everybody else, or that it seems as if lots of people around them are succeeding and they're still taking many losses, and it's just building up psychologically for them in a very difficult place. And if you cannot understand firstly why that problem is there, and I understand that the problem inside of the group is emotional, psychological aspects, and the technical analysis is absolutely there, but because of these side problems, you can never actually become successful as a trader. And this is something that I have recognized is a big problem with inside the group. Okay, and this is why I'm hopefully going to be able to fix this. So, that was the first thing that I had to recognize. Firstly, really recognize, what the problem is. So, why are people still not making money, even though I'm literally giving them the exact same sort of charts that I'm trading and I'm making money off of it? So, how is it that I'm literally almost handing things on a plate, but still people mess up? So I wanted to firstly really dig into that and truly understand why is this happening? How can it be that I'm trading the exact same charts and even giving the theories and understanding of the same charts, but I'll be making money and the person next to me is not? And I feel that the real main reason of this is the psychological and emotional aspects of it, okay? Because we are trading the same technical analysis. So next, we need to research what I can do. So once I've first worked out what the problem is, and this is something that you should do as well, so you can help, you can help me by helping yourself, of also going through the 3 steps of really understanding what your problem is, what you can do, and then we'll get to the 3rd step in a second. But what can I do? So for me, it was analysing the problem in detail. So I've worked with many traders, and this is obviously in private one-on-one sessions, just in general in the chat every single day. We have, we have a lot of members in here, and to be able to communicate and understand what's going wrong, I was then able to analyse these problems in details, write up some, feedback. Okay, so a mixture of feedback, a mixture of just reading into what people are saying. I was able to understand really why are they taking these losses, and, researching, analysing, and then making a fix to what we can do to help with this. Okay, and then thirdly, the 3rd point is, well, I can say to you, I'm no expert in, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm none of this. I'm not an expert in the field of psychology. I am I would like to say like an expert in trading, but I'm not an expert in managing or helping people emotionally or make, really making plan statistics, or like, this is not my field of expertise. And it's kind of like, what can I do if I want to help the most amount of people, but I cannot really give so much help in that regards. And it is find an expert in that field, acknowledge that my skills are not primarily in the the psychology arena or doctorate arena, and so I must find a trader expert who is. You might be thinking, what are you on about, Daniel? What have you done? And this is where I would like to surprise you all and say hello everybody and welcome to Victor. As you might know, Victor is inside of the trading group. He is known as Gilgamesh. He is a heart surgeon, a trader, and very passionate for chart champions. Been a member of 2 years here. And I'm very much excited to announce that he is now part of the team. He is now on this live call with us. So I'm going to say hello to Victor. We're going to get him on the stream. He's going to introduce himself. And we're gonna take him on here. So let me just come out of muting the mic. I'm gonna have to put on my headset. This is the bit of the thing I have to put on this. You will still be able to hear him. I'm gonna unmute my mic and say hi. And if anybody has any audio issues, please let us know. Hello, Victor. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, we've already ran into an audio issue here. That's because I haven't got on my headset.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Oh, hello, Victor. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine now. I hear you fine. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, great.
I'll just make sure if everyone can hear you in the chat as well. If you just want to say 1, 2, 3 testing, and we'll just make sure everyone can hear you.
1, 2, 3 testing. Hello, everyone. Good evening, contenders. Good evening, champs. Can you hear me?
I'll just make sure somebody replies saying they can hear you, and then as long as that's okay, we'll start. If you just want to make sure that the stream from YouTube is silenced as well, because otherwise you'll hear me twice.
Yeah, it's silenced.
Cool.
Well,
cool.
Thanks a lot for that great introduction. That was really cool. I was getting hyped up too.
Yeah, obviously it was. So we haven't planned this, but this is kind of. Just our introductory stream to say hello to Victor. He was obviously known as Gilgamesh inside of the Discord, but we think he'll change his name to CC Victor, so it's a little bit easier to understand or pronounce, I suppose. Yeah. But if you want to give a introduction to everybody here to this evening, a bit of your background and where you are as a trader.
Sure. Well, hello everyone. As you heard, my name is Victor, and I'm a doctor. That's true. I was born in Spain, and I've been living in Germany for 20 years now. And I also lived in the US for 7 years, so I've been moving around a lot. But my career in medicine was all done in Germany, and this is where I've been working as a doctor as well. And about 4 years ago, I started playing around with stocks, so the stock market, and having absolutely no idea about what technical analysis is or what a chart is. And those are the first steps that I took. It didn't go so bad, but they were very, very long-term positions and based on fundamentals. And in the summer of 2017, that's when I bought my first half Bitcoin. And I did it on Kraken. And I was pretty sure that I wouldn't see that money again because it was so shady to sign up for that and take a selfie of myself with my ID and everything. So, yeah. But actually it went well. And that's when I started looking at charts more without really understanding what I was doing either. And it was the following year in 2018 when I started to get more into technical analysis. And I was also in another trading group where I took my baby steps. And it was in that trading group where Daniel was a guest on one of the streams. And when he came on and started talking about levels and Fibonacci and all that stuff, it just blew my mind. I was just like, wow. I mean, this is insanely accurate and amazing. And how come no one that I've talked to before, I've learned from before, even has any idea about this? This is crazy. I mean, this guy is completely on another level. So that's when I knew, okay, I need to change. I need to change groups quick. And I waited patiently for spots to open up at Chart Champions, which back then I think was still Avid Students program. What we called Chart. Yeah. And that's when I joined. And like many of you, first, I think player was for a very short time because I noticed, okay, I need more than that. So I tried contenders. and I got absolutely hooked. But I also realized there's something missing, so I had to go for the champions group. And when I did, it felt right as rain. I mean, I'm really happy to be in this group. It's an amazing group of very, very talented traders. And it was also confirmed that they're not just great traders, but also great people. I mean, we met up in London
Yeah, that
and
was
in
nice.
December, yeah, last December, and it was really great to see people from different backgrounds come together with one common interest and a passion for trading. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here. And yeah, I guess the object or my primary objective at the beginning, at least, will be to complement a bit with the great job that Daniel and Mike are doing, and other great traders in the group that are already providing a lot of help and technical analysis. I'd like to also help out maybe with the psychology part of it, like Daniel said. Yeah, it's similar to surgery in the sense that you need to have a very, very good plan before you even start the operation, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you, of course. What's the nurse doing? What's your assistant doing? Everything has to be perfectly planned out, and it has to be, yeah, you have to know exactly what you're going to do next when this and that happens. And if something goes the wrong way, well, at least you have the confidence to react to that problem or to that thing that's not going your way. So in trading, it would be okay. If my trade is not going my way, that's what I have an invalidation. That's my stop loss. And I'm not scared to enter the trade because I know exactly how much I'm going to lose. I planned it before. So it's okay for me to keep entering these trades that, of course, I've selected very carefully. Yeah, I only want to take the best trades. So that's hopefully the part that I'll be able to help maybe the newer traders with.
Yeah, so I think it will work really well. So obviously, yeah. So I see some of the comments. Obviously some of the people you've met here in the comments. It's nice to see their support. But
Thank you.
yeah. Obviously, yeah, it's going to be working pretty nicely. So obviously, Victor's going to be able to help out with these sort of sections. Obviously for the contenders and champions, and then also as a little like bonus, obviously because he's from Spain. Hablas español bien y
Sí, claro.
también
Y catalá.
German. I can't say anything, but obviously he's a fully full German speaker as well, which is pretty cool. Because I know we have quite a lot of German speaking members in the group, which is
Ja, guten Abend.
I think that means good evening, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously fluent Spanish, fluent Catalan, fluent German. So that's pretty nice as well. And yeah, I think he might be helping with some translations into other languages if you struggle with some of that aspects as well, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, so I think that was really the intro into Victor, into saying hello. Obviously, yeah, if you have any questions for me or for Victor, then you can just write them in YouTube, and we can go over and say hello and answer your questions. And if not, we can just do like a technical analysis here, because that
Danke,
was
danke.
yeah, we got some German comments there, but unfortunately, I can't even start to to try and tell you what they say.
But they were congratulations and hello, basically.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I'll wrap the stream up, and with well, if any questions come in, just write your questions, and we'll go through the questions together. Um, Obviously, I will move on to the summary, which was obviously Victor is a new mentor with us, so he's here to help you, ask for your questions and assist you with your trades. Obviously here to help you advance and finally succeed with caring professionals that are here at the end of the day for you. We're hopefully providing you with the best service possible in the whole of the cryptocurrency or trading space in general. So for us, it's really serious. We're here to help you, and we want to do that the best and most efficient way possible. So master your emotions, and you will in turn master your trades. So as I said, the emotional side of trading people really overlook, and you might think, oh, I go and study 100 different textbooks. I put in 1,000 hours studying all of the chart champions material. I put in a load of extra screen time, and you've put in thousands of hours. on technical analysis, you're overloaded with technical analysis information, and then you just keep losing your trades. And that is because it's so important to actually master the emotions and the psychological aspect of trading to actually really even start to be able to trade successfully and, you know, consistently. So yeah, I'm pretty excited that we can bring on Victor into the team. You know, he's got a really cool background. You know, it's an amazing background and amazing stories that he has. So yeah, I think he's a great addition to the team, and yeah, really going to be able to help out a lot of people. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let us know. If not, then I'll just go through some, because we still have like another half an hour. So I'll just go through some technical analysis and some trades. Next week we will be obviously carrying on the volume series as normal. So next week, all back to normal with the volume series. I'll be carrying on with that. But if any questions in the meantime, then just let us know. And I'll go. I guess I'll start with Bitcoin. So I guess are you still there? Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes. So what's your favorite tool that we've covered thus far in terms of our trading? What do you use on the most out of the vast array of tools that we've covered?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably one of the things that has helped me evolve a lot in the past few months has been this volume series with the cumulative delta, the whole delta stuff. That's
Yeah.
been insane. But I mean, if I have to look at everything, I will still probably say Fibonacci is the one, just the pretty normal retracement and extensions.
Yeah.
It's the one that still blows my mind every day because it's so precise and you can use it across different asset classes.
Yeah.
Like lately,
Absolutely.
Bitcoin has a bit sleepy, so I've been trading a derivative product from SPX, just the index itself,
Ah. Yeah.
and
Yep.
gold, a bit of oil, and I mean the levels are respected really, really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, gold's taken off recently as well, isn't it?
Oh
Gold,
yeah,
silver, and all that. But yeah, Fibonacci. I totally agree.
and the speed
Fibonacci.
chan.
Yep. But yeah, Fibonacci is amazing, and obviously, like this is what we're trading at the moment here, or I'm trading anyway. I'm sure other people are with this. Like this is where you go. You get your Fibonacci. Fibonacci starts to come together. You then add in not only your Fibonacci levels, but then you start to add in Fibonacci time. So you also then start to be able to predict the exact time something's going to happen, and then you start to get out of that harmonic patterns. And these things are just like so
Yeah,
amazing. So yeah, obviously this is the Bitcoin harmonic that I'm currently trading, and you know, really nice. We had our big drop, rise to the CC, and we all know how much we love these CCs. There's an exact rise to the CC rejection, exact come down to the CC support, and then we had that really nice impulse up. We're looking actually for the 786 there to complete this Gartley harmonic. And I'll show you quickly where we got these points from for the 1618 Fibonacci time and a 1-to-1 Fibonacci time. Okay, so if I delete that and delete that. So to get to the point C, really simply, we got our Fibonacci time here from point X to point A from point B. 1.618 Fibonacci time extension to the exact hour there, catching the low. And why do we like this so much? Because it was a 1618 onto the CC. Really powerful confluence. It was our low on a naked point of control. From that, we obviously are getting our bounce up. So we're looking for D to be a 1-to-1 time extension. So we're going from A to B to the start of C. And this time we're actually just going to be looking for a 1-to-1 as a standard extension. We are also going to be interested in the 0.618, which is actually coming up tonight, but unlikely that it gets a massive reaction from this, although we can be aware of it. We're going to be more interested in this 1-to-1. Okay, 1-to-1 coming in at the 27th of July around 5 a.m. more or less. So that is in terms of days, we're looking at a possible 4 more days. Okay, that region that is what we're looking for. But this is the harmonic that I'm currently trading off. So I'm obviously in a long position at the moment, and you know how amazing has the trades been today. Literally, we've been able to catch highs to the exact dollar, lows to the exact dollar, highs to the exact dollar, lows to $10. I mean, extremely technical. And this is the thing, the volume series is really nice. And obviously, I know lots of people are really eager for the TPO series. I'm aware. Obviously, we've got Elliott Waves coming up, Elliott Wave series. TPO will be next, but you know, we don't really, it's not so important that we do like TPOs. For example, like this, all the trades that I've taken here had nothing to do with that. We've had Fibonacci, 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 and obviously from our local range we had that monthly. So really, 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 really technical. We had the monthly coming in here to the dollar high. You then you got your retracement down to the point of control of this local range. What you then done was you come up to the CC of the high to low, coming into the CC, rejection down. As you will know from the updates that I was given, the 9280 was the whole range. Okay, so if we come back up to the daily, we know the range that we are in right here. I'm just going to take off that and take off that, take off that. We know that this whole range that we are in, we took out our fixed range from the start of the range to the end of the range. We knew that that fixed range was coming in at 9,280. Massive, massive, massive support, point of control of the whole range. So myself anyway was ready for that drop this morning. We had the drop down to hit 9,290, which is $10 from the overall range point of control, a massive support level. So from trading, I've been trading longs, taking profits at the exact dollar to the highs, getting into the long, as you know, from the update this morning. I was into long from 9,298, sorry, and now we sit at 9,374. And so this is extremely technical. That's been Fibonacci at its finest, and the range using volume, really just really nice trading. So this is the thing. The technicals really well respected. Obviously, there's still this come down, and why we wanted to do this is because the technicals are there, and I can teach you how to use these tools, and I can give you the evidence that clearly it really does work. But if you do not master the emotions, if you do not lock down plans, understand how to make plans, how to actually understand how to record statistics, how to then turn those statistics into confidence, then you're still going to ultimately fail, even though the technical analysis is many times to the dollar here respected. So yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to this next journey with Victor. But yeah, let's see if we have any questions then. Let's come over and see.
There's a couple.
So cool to have you on board of the Chart Champions team. So cool, this group is evolving away and your expertise. This is a whole new level of service. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tom. That's exactly what we want, though. We literally want to give you the best service in the world. Like, I speak for myself, and I imagine it's the same with Victor. Like, if you do something, you want to be the best at it. Like, there's no second place. It's the best or nothing. So, yeah, with Chart Champions, we want to be the best. So, yeah, I'm looking forward. Can you share? So, a question here from Linda for you, Victor. Can you share how you overcome your emotions in trading? So what steps, I guess just a high level overview, but like what are some of the steps that you take to really manage your emotions and get the better of it so you don't come into those sort of situations that we've sort of mentioned today, of fear of taking the trades or not trusting your confidence or just too much technical analysis for your own good almost?
Yeah, well, it's been a difficult journey, and to be honest, you can still learn from yourself every day. And at some point, I just basically realized that once the technical analysis is there and you got the tools, you still remain your own worst enemy. And I have to say, one of the books that also helped me a lot to center myself is Market Wizards, the one by Jack Schwager.
Really good one, yeah.
I just started reading about how these guys started, many years ago, trading other stuff, but basically making the absolute same mistakes that I was making at the beginning as well. And basically, I made a video about this in February. Maybe I can post it later. I think it's really important to be in the zone. So to actually, when you want to trade, when you want to execute your technical analysis, that's one part. But when you actually want to execute that trade, you need to be focused. You can't just do it in between other stuff and be like, oh, I got 5 minutes. Come on, I'm going to pop on my phone and let's see. Oh, there's a trade. Oh, it looks fantastic. That's not going to work. You're just going to not make it like that. So basically what has helped me is to, when I'm trading, have my workspace set up so that I can focus purely on that, and also to be very, very strict with risk management. I mean, that's just absolutely key. You have to know before you even enter that trade exactly how much you're going to lose if it goes the wrong way. and treat every trade the same. I think that's Larry Hite. That's the one that said that in that book, 1% rule. I mean, I guess that's not for everyone, but it's a very helpful rule, I find. If you're struggling at the beginning, if you have, I think one of the follow-up questions as well is, why are my losses bigger and my wins smaller? Yeah, well, your
Yeah,
losses should always be the same, 1% of your capital. That's it. There's no
yeah.
discussion, there's no argument around that. Just force yourself to kind of become a bit robotic in that sense, at least at the beginning. And you know that every time you lose a trade, it'll be just the 1%, and that relaxes you in a way too.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, I
I
totally
think
agree
that
with
was
that.
one of the key things that helped me a lot.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I see another person asking, you're more active in the stock channel, but yeah, I suppose that's just because you've been trading a bit more stocks recently. Bitcoin's not been so moving. I
Yeah.
guess that's a good question. Like, would you class yourself more as a swing trader or more as a scalp trader?
Definitely more as a swing trader, and I'm getting down to the lower time frames now that I have a bit more time. But I started mostly the strongest trades that I've made are swing trades,
Yeah.
and now I'm getting down and dirty to the scalping.
I guess that's quite nice then, because then I would class myself as a scalp trader, but then to have other people here that are swing traders, it's quite, yeah, it's nice to see that though. But yeah, it's obviously a lot easier. Well, I'd say as well that it's a lot easier to swing trade. Another question that we have: are you taking profit? Okay, so this am I taking profits around 9,390? Um, if I'm honest, no, because I've already from that long that I took this. Well, I'm already. So the thing is, I was already originally in a long 9,190, and then we obviously I hit two take profits yesterday. I then compounded that back on this morning 9,298, and then I've already hit my take profit one of the day. So I'm not going to be taking another take profit at 9,390. For me now, I'd like to see us push up through. To be honest, I'd like to see us push up through the monthly, but my next take profit would be a rejection again up at the monthly or above the high 9,400, because you have to envision that we could continue with this range. So this is kind of foreseeing a range almost that we could potentially see this as a range. Okay, that puts in something like this. So if we do, might happen now, but if we do something like this, well then that's when I would look to take profit, because we can still expect that range there to continue. Um, but unless we do swing failure that, then I'm not going to take another take profit at 9,390, because ultimately I'm expecting higher prices. Um, but yeah, I will react to if we swing failure this high at 9,400, because there is going to be liquidity sat above it. But unless that happens, I'm not going to be taking profits 9,390. I've already hit my take profit one of the day. Um, when I started getting too emotional to trade and didn't take setups, like for example CC setups, I found that making a quick video for my future self outlining all. Yeah, that's a really good idea. And I know some people are also doing that. That they will just write, or it's essentially like journaling, isn't it? So I agree that journaling is a really big factor of managing your emotions. Obviously, having the plan in place, also journaling, also recording statistics. This is a video
Yeah.
that we'll do of like how to record statistics, because people are interested in that as well. But ultimately, it's just having a really good plan, and then understanding that you could still have a really good plan, but then if emotionally you're in a really bad place at the moment, you're likely still going to feel stressed, and you're still going to be losing trades, even though you might have actually a good plan and the good technicals. If emotionally, psychologically, you're not in a good place, you're still going to find yourself struggling. So yeah, underlining all that with, at the end of the day, journals is really, really helpful. When you have a series of losses, how do you handle that? I guess I'll let you answer this one if you would like, Victor. So when you have a series of losses, and this is the thing that even as professional traders, you're always going to be able to say that you will at some point have a series of losses. Like I will say that could definitely have a series of losses. Nobody is above a series of losses. That's the first thing to remember. But yeah, I'll ask this one to you then, Victor. So how would you approach a series of losses? What was maybe some steps you would take?
Yeah. The first step that I take when I notice I'm not really in the groove and it's not going my way is I reduce position size, and I make sure that I have a very, very strict, like the 1% risk per trade rule.
Yep.
So I actually go down in what I usually use in position size. And
Yeah.
if I notice that it's still, I'm just not understanding the asset, whatever it is, Bitcoin, SPX, or gold, whatever,
Yeah.
then I just stop for the day. I take, or at least for a few hours, go outside, get some fresh air, maybe go for a run,
Yeah.
just to completely refresh my mind. Because for some reason that day is just not my day. And if possible, close all trades that feel conflicting. And don't be afraid to take a loss. Just take it, and you'll feel so much better when you do. You'll feel like you have wings, like with Red Bull. That
Yeah. Because
isn't a
I
promotional
think that
advice.
because when you're in that losing position, sometimes it definitely can cloud your judgment. That if you're in a
Yeah.
losing trade, you can hold on to it thinking, it's going to turn around. But then as soon as you cut the trade, it's a weight off your shoulders, and you can view the chart in a whole different way.
Oh
And
yeah.
I to expand upon Victor's point of like what we mean. Oh, sorry, I remembered I need to be closer to the microphone. But what we mean by like reducing. Let's say that you trade over 1% risk. That if you find yourself taking a lot of losses in succession, then reduce it to 0.5 risk per trade. So you're reducing your risk when you're taking these losses. But what you should also be trying to do, especially if you're a newer / intermediate trader that's taken a lot of losses in a row, then you should definitely be starting to record why are you taking these losses. Maybe it
Yeah.
is you're taking a lot of losses because you're going sideways, and then if this is the case and you're doing very good trades in a trending market, but in the sideways market you're just losing because you're getting chopped up, maybe just say to yourself, you at this moment in time you're not good at trading sideways ranges, so do not trade sideways ranges. Trade when there's a trend. It could just be something as simple as that, but you got to try and recognize the underlying problem that's there of why are you taking these losses in a row. Like, what is wrong? Working out what's going wrong on these trades. Because
Yeah.
although 100%, you could go on I could go on a 10 loss streak tomorrow. There's absolutely that possibility, but I would say it's at the same time very unusual. And if that is the case, myself, I would take a big break and come back. But especially if you're at this intermediate level, you got to really focus in and journal what went wrong, how could I improve, and keep doing the good things and start to implement strategies that are going to help you stop doing the bad things.
Yeah.
So
The
how
journal is key.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah massively helpful. How often they happen and why should I take them? Only a 30 video. Oh right, so
What?
this guy I think is just explaining what he does in his video. So yeah, that's really good. Uh, Daniel Davis says, Victor, you're exactly what I needed. That's good. That's why we got him.
That's great.
um,
I'm glad to be here then.
Daniel, you
It's
missed
also my
my
wife that you said that.
question for you before Tom. There was apparently I missed a question. At the beginning of your trading journey, have you ever encountered? Have I ever encountered conflicting emotions? Oof, that's a question. Like, have I'll tell you that my answer would be yes. I must admit that for me, it's quite hard to remember everything that I used to think, if I'm totally honest with you. But I can remember, for example, going through a lot of time of my biggest thing was being so ultimately obsessed and so ultimately my biggest problem at the start was that I went through so many like sleepless nights where that for me was a really negative thing because I was so overly obsessed almost with the charts that it literally would be the first thing that I'd done before I went to sleep, last thing I'd done before I went to bed. Although it's similar now, it was back then very unhealthy, whereas now I do it because I want to, whereas back then I was doing it because I almost felt as if I had to. And for me, why was I so obsessed with the price movements back then? It was because I was trading with too much money that for me was ultimately too much for that beginning stage in my career as a trader. It was just too much for me emotionally. I would have always been worrying, placing 10 grand here, but that for me is a lot of money. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and lose that. So how did I overcome? That was my biggest drawback, I would say, at the start. And so how did I overcome that? Well, it was ultimately for me learning how to correctly position size, learning, what is a stop loss, how to place a stop loss, how to work out invalidation. So some of the more basic things. But that for me was like a big breakthrough. Something as simple as that, but that was a massive breakthrough because it let me almost relax and calm down and understand that firstly understand it's a process that doesn't happen overnight, but also it was a big way of a relief off my shoulders, knowing that no longer I can wake up tomorrow to liquidating an account, breaking up to nothing, but waking up to, okay, I already know what I'm going to lose if I wake up tomorrow and I've been stopped out, sort of thing. So that was an emotion I remember very well, and how I overcome it. So next question that we had here, um, Tom Jones. You made that video before. That was you. I love that video. So important to have a clean, quiet environment so you don't get distracted and fully focused. You nailed it in that video. I can't actually remember this video, so it must have been. But yeah, was that one that you posted? Was this? I can't remember if you
It
posted.
was the one with Michael Jordan.
I honestly can't remember. But
I'll post it again.
yeah, you can post it again in the group. But I think I can kind of remember, but I also must admit I also can't.
It was a Sunday morning. I was up at like 5 a.m. I'm lying in bed. I'm like, oh man, I can't sleep. What the hell? It's Sunday. Then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make a trading psychology video. I have a great idea. And then it just kind of happened.
Fair enough. But yeah, Linda also says, can you post that in the Discord, please? So I guess,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll do.
cool. Um, do you always get always get your ideas? Okay, I think this is
Yeah.
more like a not a question, but just a point that, yeah, it's always good to get your ideas onto paper in front of you. And then, yeah, firstly, having accountability is really massive. So actually holding yourself accountable for those trades. So when you say you're going to take a trade, actually hold yourself accountable. And by saying to other people or writing it down that you're taking this trade, you're going to be held accountable to actually taking that trade. Or if you don't take it, you actually have a valid reason that you can fully explain why you haven't taken that trade. Because there are going to be times where I'll say, right, I'm gonna long $9,000, but when it approaches $9,000, I might actually not take the trade, but not because of an emotional aspect, but because something on the chart is actually giving a really big red flag. For example, if we start seeing a massive sell-off with a really heavy volume because there's been then that's obviously a red flag, and I know not to take it. But generally speaking, to have that accountability, have it wrote down is really helpful.
Yeah.
For me, it is most difficult to find a good stop loss. To me, it always seems like a good price for compounding. How do you find a good stop loss? So for me, how to define a good stop loss is how to define a really good invalidation. So how do you define a really good invalidation? You just have to say that, where am I wrong on this trade? For every setup that you take, you've worked out why you're entering there. So let's say, for an example, as it's happening, let's say that we wanted to short the top of this channel. As you can see, what we just let's just say, although I'm not going to do it, we wanted to short the top of this channel, getting a pullback. So what we could say is, okay, I'm going to short now because we're at the top of a channel and we're getting a rejection. And I'd say to myself, okay, to work out a good stop loss, firstly, where am I going to be targeting? Well, I guess probably I'm going to be looking down to take the lows or the bottom of the channel, maybe with a take profit one around 9,350. 9,350 is a big level here. So I could say that ultimately I'm targeting down here, but I'd have a take profit one here, and that's how I trade it. So then how do I know where a good stop loss is? Well, for me, I trade with soft stop losses, and I think everybody in the group knows this by now. If I was trading with a hard stop loss and I wanted a hard stop loss in the book, where is my invalidation? Well, let me ask you this first. And this is a question for everybody, a rhetorical question. Where would your invalidation be? Where would you place the stop loss if you've just taken this short? Think about this for a second. Where are you placing your stop loss? Okay, so I would say the majority of people, 90% of people, are going to say that their stop loss is above this high. And they're going to place their stop loss here. I would never, ever do this, because this is a real high liquidity grab, and in my opinion, you're much more likely to see that than anything else, sort of thing. So I would not use that as although I think many people would have given this as an answer. I would never, ever give that one as an answer, because for me, this is a high liquidity area. Price searches for liquidity, and I would just not use that as an invalidation. If I wanted to place a hard stop loss in the book, which I don't really do, it would have to be above that high. Okay, I would have to it's the only place I would have a stop loss. I would definitely not place it here. I might, if I wanted to give myself a smaller one, actually use up at these highs. Okay, back above 9425. Okay, so that's where I'm. If I wanted a bit of a closer invalidation, but I never would give myself such tight invalidations. But basically, I would have to think a little bit of, firstly, where's everyone else going to place their stop loss? Well, in my opinion, it's that high, so I would never place it here. I would be comfortable myself trading it above this high. But if I wanted a bit of a smaller invalidation above this high, but I would definitely not use that as my invalidation. Although yeah, absolutely it could work, we could fall down now. Just would never use this as a stop loss. So the answer is where the answer of, or the question of, how do you find a good stop loss? How do you invalidate where you're wrong? So you have to say, firstly, think maybe where. How do I define a good stop loss? Maybe first think where everybody else is placing their stop loss, and then think to yourself, is that a good stop loss that I want to use? Probably not. And then secondly, you have to also you do have to think, like, where are you wrong in this? So the way that I would prefer to trade this, if I was trading off the top of this channel, I would close out on my trade if it done something like this, and then started holding this and moving back up. That's when I would cut the trade. So my invalidation is still going to be at the exact same place, more or less, as everybody else. But because it's a soft stop loss, and because I have a general idea what I think would happen, take the high, and it would either then take the high and fall back down into this, obviously bearish, take the short, or it does the retest and just heads back up, and then I'd cut the trade. But from a soft stop loss, you can avoid those wicked out, and then exactly what you thought was going to happen sort of situations. So yeah, a mixture for myself anyway of soft stop losses and thinking what other people are going to do, and not doing that. Daniel, why would you only risk one PCT per trade?
Percent.
Oh right. Why would you only? Well, this isn't something that I do, so so I don't risk 1% per trade. But yeah. So yeah, I don't do a 1% risk per trade, but I know that Victor does 1%. Like many traders, I think Mike uses 1%. 1% is a really standard risk per trade. Okay, and obviously you can increase, you can decrease, but 1% is a standard, I think, amongst many people, and it's there's nothing wrong or bad about it. Personally, I don't, but yeah, it's kind of a little bit, I suppose. Every trader is going to have a different risk per percent. How much I'm willing to risk, or how much I'm willing to lose per trade is obviously going to be different than the guy next to you. So that it's very, very, very personal how much you want to risk per trade. Yeah. Igor, such an exciting time to be a champion. We're going to rock these charts so hard. What a team. Daniel, Mike, and the trading assistant now, Victor. Big congrats, Victor.
Thank you, Igor. That means a lot. Thank you.
And we are looking forward to the next meetup. We're gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah.
When you first started trading, what was the most profitable technique back then that gave you the most win rate? I'll go over this as quickly as possible, but for me, I would say it had to be a combination of when I really started to use, had to be for me channels, fibs, and the monthly, weekly levels. Like those things are just amazing.
They change your world.
Yeah, so amazing. Obviously, then you start to add in other things like Elliott Waves, volume, TPO charts, but yeah, the basics for me are fibs, channels, horizontals. They're basic and so good. That's a quick way. They're amazing, aren't they?
Yeah.
And what would be your 1% risk on a stop? If, for example, if you use a 1% risk for a $5,000 account, for that, I will just load up the template that we have. I'll load up this really, really quickly. So I'll go into this. Remember, on the beginner series, we have now the trade size. Okay, so I've not added it into this one.
Great series, man. Really nice.
But basically, yeah, on the trade size series, you can just watch the video, and I think as you get to basically we start to here you go. So you get the calculation. Like this is the calculations that you got to go through to work out your risk amount. Okay, I'll make that big screen so you can see, but that's the calculations that you want to go through to work that out, basically. So the next question that we had there was,
I think there was one before too.
Oh, did I miss one? That was about the win rate But I would say, yeah, a mixture of fibs and horizontals.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Victor, new psychology doctor. I guess it is pretty interesting though. But I can only imagine what I'd be like if I tried to do heart surgery. But yeah, that's it. That is insane. Like, yeah, to be able to manage. Yeah, I guess for you, trading must be like nothing. You've literally like saved lives. To then come over to trading must be like a lot less stressful, I imagine.
Yeah, you would think so, right? And
Or
yet,
is it not?
I would say, as a beginner trader, I had more stress than as an experienced surgeon, I would say.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
that's how what trading does to, I suppose.
yeah, it's at the beginning. It is quite stressful, and I think I'm not sure there was, I think, a question of advice for beginners. One of the things that's relaxed me a lot too is just to say, I don't want to become rich today or win all trades today or this week or this month. Just give yourself time. Um, I mean, just set a goal like 5 years, 10 years in the future, and then you'll notice that you start relaxing because okay, let me just take little steps. And I have to say, big shout out to Igor as well for putting all these spreadsheets where he shows, 1% a day can make a huge difference in the end, and that's absolutely right. No,
Yeah, 100%.
take small steps. Small steps make a big difference
Yeah,
cumulatively.
I like Igor's. He promotes that really well. Yeah. Um, yeah, he's got a really good spreadsheet. If none of you, if you, I'm sure everybody's probably seen it in the group. But if you haven't, go to Igor's pinned spreadsheet in the. It's in the pinned message inside of the trading challenge. Yeah, he's got an amazing spreadsheet that he shared, and we pinned that. So watching Profile. Um, Victor, you never trade with more than 1%. Do you enter a trade and then leave the screen?
That depends. No, I usually don't leave the screen that quickly, and I do trade sometimes more than with 1%. Sometimes I'll go crazy and go for 2%. Ooh. No, but seriously, I do. Sometimes I push it a bit more now. If I look at my journal from 2 years ago or even a year and a half, sometimes I think, Jesus, what was I thinking there? Where was the risk management? You're insane. I mean, spectacular wins, but spectacular losses because the risk management was not what it should be. And now I just become much more strict with that, and it's more relaxing because I know, okay, that's how much it's going to be. If I really, really love the setup, I might push it a bit higher, yeah. But still, in the end, all the trades are the same because you're only taking the best trades. You don't want the crappy trades anyway. So you should treat all the trades the same.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So we're going to take these last few questions that have come in, and I think we'll wrap it up. So the last few questions that we have come in here are about the phantom invalidation, and then for me about the soft stop losses. So this is how I would say approach this: that if you give yourself, and this is not really something that I really recommend to people because soft stop losses are pretty dangerous if you are not really good. Firstly, only good if you're at your computer. If you're a swing trader, you cannot use soft stop losses. They're only used by scalp traders. Okay, that's the first thing to bear in mind. The second thing to bear in mind is if you are really bad at cutting a loss, then also you're not going to be able to use these. But yeah, primarily they're obviously only for scalp traders. Remember that. But yeah, secondly, the question is. Obviously, yeah. So if an altcoin dumps down, so this is the way that I would say you want to start approaching your soft stop losses. So have a soft stop loss, but maybe place a hard stop loss at a really far away invalidation. So let's just say, for the example, that something dumps massively and you don't want to hold the whole drawdown, then you could have your soft stop loss, but then do place a hard stop loss maybe 10% away. So if the worst comes to the worst and there is a flash crash or whatever, then you do have to hard. I don't do this, by the way, but this is something that if you're worried about this, then you can place a hard stop loss at a very far away invalidation point, or maybe not so much of an invalidation, just to literally protect yourself. Then that's something that you can do. Okay, but how do you? But yeah, the way that I approach it is I generally trade same position size every single trade, and I acknowledge that this is not something that I preach. This is just something that I do, but as I say, like, do as I say and not as I do, maybe. But yeah, I don't actually do really the 1%, 2%. I trade same position size every single trade. But Yeah, but I'm very good at closing out of the trades if it's required. Um, but yeah, I would say to answer the question, then maybe get into a habit if you want to start practicing with soft stop losses. Place a hard stop loss 5-10% away. So if it's hit, it's not the end of the world for you, and you can still sleep or not sleep, I suppose, but still have that little bit of, I suppose just that help for yourself, thinking, okay, if this does massively dump, at least I'm a little bit protected. Um, Although I don't do this, I would say that's something that you could do, and something that you would do when you first start using soft stop losses, because they are advanced, they are really, really hard. Hi, Daniel. After planning the trade and entry levels, if price approaches my every level really fast, should that change my resolve? No, 100%. If something approaches a level really fast, that's good. So let's say I wanted to short this level. If price approaches my level like this, I'll take that trade every day of the week. I like it when price approaches really quick. I don't really like it if it approaches like this. Okay, really slowly. I prefer quick move into the level. I'll take that every day of the week. So yeah, I prefer quick approaches to a level. Um, if my emotions overcome me one day, I can have a heart attack. Next time next time we get a surprise in live stream, we'll know it's Victor. Confidential information. But I'm sure we know. Maybe problem with high probability trades is if you miss them, sometimes you have to wait a really long time. It can be frustrating. Yeah, obviously that's sometimes you miss trades. It's just part of the game. You can't take them all, but obviously it's annoying to miss a trade. But you don't just. The worst thing is that if trading is your whole income, and this was for me, a step that I went through for my first when I first quit my job and started trading. For those years where it was literally the only money that you made, I can tell you that adds another level of emotions, because literally if you do not take a trade for the whole week, I'm telling you this from experience, it's very easy to take subpar trades, because you are almost thinking to yourself, if I don't make any money this week, what am I going to do? And so that is the hardest part when trading literally is your only source of income. If you miss a high probability trade, to then have the grasp and self-control to not take the next trade that's subpar is really, really hard. But you also know that this is the thing about trading. Trading's really good because you can make money really quickly, but you can also lose money really quickly. It's the only job in the world where you could become a millionaire in a year, or you could go bankrupt from actually working every day. So it's crazy, and you have to be very, 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 very on point with your emotions and your risk management, because literally become a millionaire overnight, become bankrupt overnight. Like, what other job can do that to you? It's crazy. I love it, but yeah, honestly, that's the hardest thing. If you've got a part-time job, then I feel trading's easier. I feel as well that if you don't have people relying on you, then it's also easier. And it's also easier to say, you can sleep at night, but that was it's a difficult emotion to overcome when trading is your only source of income. To know, if you don't take a trade that week, then yeah, you're down. But the way that I overcome this is I was trading stocks primarily, and there's obviously a lot of stocks you can trade. So I manage this by trading a lot of stocks, I suppose. There's always a setup, really. Sometimes, yeah, I'd take one setup a week. But the great thing about the stock market is, myself anyway, you obviously got access to leverage. You got access to a whole bunch of different assets to trade. Different, not even from your country. You can go and trade the German market if you want, the GE. But there's so many things you can trade. So there's always a setup there. But yeah, if I missed a setup, I would definitely not be able to think to myself or just get annoyed about it. It's just, okay, I missed that setup. There's nothing I can do about it. That's life. I'll take the next setup when it comes. And yeah, you just got to get over that initial barrier of, so it's scary, I suppose, when you go full-time trading, but worth it. It's without a doubt worth it in the end. Yeah, so I think then that's all those questions we've given. Primarily, yeah, today was obviously a little bit of an unplanned, so to speak, session. We'll be back to the volume series next week, so I know that you will be looking forward to that one. And yeah, this was an introduction to say hello to Victor. Really happy to have you on the team. I'm sure you're going to help many people. And
Thank you. Very happy to be here too.
Thank you so much. And obviously, so believe you'll change your name in the group to CC Victor, so
Yeah.
people realise that Gilgamesh has changed his name.
Gilgamesh is no longer.
So yeah, that will be happening after the stream. You've had everyone's had the introduction, knows who you are, knows your background, and knows a bit about you. And yeah, we look forward to helping and assisting you as you all grow. And yeah, I'll catch you next week as we return to Normalidad with the volume series next Wednesday. And obviously we got the Champions live stream on Sunday, which I'm going to do similar to this week, more swing trade perspectives, taking those trades. So no, that was nice. So yeah, thank you everybody. Any final words you want to say, Victor?
Yeah, thank you very much to everyone for the warm welcome, and I'll see you in the operating theater. I mean, on Discord.
Cheers, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Have a brilliant evening. Catch you inside of Discord, and cheers. Bye.
Bye.